Not that, it just like marks it that way.
It's made for children. So some parent can put their kid on the TV and let them watch Algebra 2.
It could happen.
Here you go, a live stream of math class.
It might not be live today because I didn't end up having the time to make sure this was set up correctly ahead of time. And so it's possible that it doesn't work today. What? I have signed in to lots of things. Yeah, you and getting my putting email on my thing, spying on me. This says it's working. Is it actually working on here? Let's see.
I have some with me.
You can stock it up if it'll make sense.
Yes.
Why'd you think you would push it this way?
I don't know. My brain just wanted to.
I like that this one doesn't push the lead out when you erase, because with the other one, sometimes they'll erase and the lead pushes.
Chat rate 1. Doesn't make any sense.
Discord. I haven't been on Discord since last year.
I haven't been on Discord since last year.
I got it for the class and then I didn't use it for the class.
I know, rude. Well, we are going to have one. That's not going to be up right now, but
Didn't have a phone, but you had Discord. And I was like, okay.
it'd be really annoying if that just worked.
Things really do work. We just messed around on ChatGPT. That's fine.
All right, we don't have much time for me to fiddle around with this, so give me like half a second more.
We just didn't have each other's phone numbers or something like that. But we just messed around on ChatGPT for like the first 3 weeks instead of doing anything productive.
That definitely sounds like or at least the messing around on ChatGPT. He gets all of his work done.
Well, there's a small possibility that this is working and it doesn't look like it's working, so let's look at that real quick.
Go what?
Ember Learning Labs.
I already have paint on my
Is anybody actually missing today? No.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's totally working. I don't know why it's not showing up in studio, but it is live right now. Okay, so we're going to start recording on there in case this doesn't work. And then I'm going to record here. Great. And then we're going to record here and we're going to stream live. So we got all kinds of things. We got backups on backups on backups. Okay, great. Let me grab my book and then let's get started. What numbers did we do?
24 through something.
24 through what? 60. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Over a whole weekend, people. Don't wait till the last minute to do stuff. You won't have problems.
I did it.
I did
But
it.
I don't want to do like 3 problems.
I did it.
Did it like last Friday.
Okay, well that sounds like a you problem.
Complete it in an hour.
Also, one of these paper sheets is like what you get per one day in middle school. So,
Stop whining. Is that what you're saying?
no. I'm saying it's fine to do that many. It's just sad. Because that's what I always do.
Okay. It's telling me the bit rate is terrible, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? Okay. Number 2.
What?
No.
24.
24. Oh my gosh, y'all are such whiny babies. Number 24 is 8. Number 26 is 12. Number 28 is no real solution. Number 30 is 23. Number 32 is 5/6. Number 34 is 25/4. Number 36 is 7/5. Number 38 is 40/3. Number 40 is 1. Number 42 is 2. Number 44 is 23. 46 is 24.5. 48 is D. 50 is x is greater than 11 fifths. 52 is x is greater than or equal to 21. 54 is x is greater than 4. 56 is negative 3 is less than or equal to x is less than 24. 58 is z is less than or equal to negative 23. And 60 is 0 is less than or equal to b is less than or equal to 2. So, what questions do we have on those?
38.
38 and 60 is what I've heard so far. And 56. 38, 8, 60, 50. What did you say, 6? 56.
You're 8 and then 38.
You don't need to worry about that. That's my notes, not yours.
38, and so the answer was 40, 43rd.
Number on which one?
38.
38. The answer was 40 thirds. Yes. Okay. So 38 is 6q plus 1 to the 1/4 plus 2 equals 5. All right. So
Take away 2.
Minus 2.
I agree.
Take away.
I agree. Subtract that 2 off of there. Sounds like a great idea. Minus 2. 6q plus 1 to the 1/4 equals 3.
Could you do everything to the 4th?
I think that's a great idea. Everything to the 4th. What's 3 to the 4th?
81.
Does this give 2 answers? No? I feel like it should.
Oh, I thought you said 6
But-
cubed, not 6 cubed.
Okay. Now what?
Divide by 6.
I don't think we should divide by 6 first. You could divide by 6.
Yeah, subtract 1.
Subtract 1.
And then
6q equals 80. And then, yeah, sure, divide by 6. And we get q equals 40 thirds.
Or 13.333.
If you put 13.333, it will be wrong because that is rounded and this number has an exact solution.
But 13 is.
Then it would say reduce, minus 1.
But 13 and a third would be right.
13 and a third would be fine. 13.3 repeating would be fine, but it's annoying, so, just leave it as a fraction.
Isn't there like a line that you can put on top
Yeah,
of
you
the
just
decimal?
snap
that-
them.
Yeah, that's what I just said, the repeating, yeah.
You have to infinitely write it.
Okay,
Yeah.
60. Yep, you just have to sit there and write it forever.
Yeah.
Till you get, that's like an old Twilight Zone episode or something. 60. One of the things that we're gonna do on Discord is I'm gonna let people submit problem numbers early, and those problems will get answered first. You don't even have to talk out loud in class.
Remind me when the sign, like the real sign switches
Whenever you either multiply or divide both sides by negative.
by negative.
That's only like the 4th time you've asked that question over the last 2 or 3 years. It's fine. You'll get it. Maybe you know it and just want to double check. That wouldn't be unusual. Okay, so
You take all of the out, like, times them by, I forgot what it's called.
squaring it, yeah. Yeah, you could square right now. So if it were me, you could square right now. And you can get to the answer squaring right now. What I would do, since this one is complicated and ugly, I would go ahead and move this over and then square both sides. You could do it both ways. It might only be fractionally easier, but it probably is going to be like a tiny bit easier that way. So I would subtract the 2x, or excuse me, 2x. Subtract the square root of 2, subtract the square root of 2. I would also do one more thing. Well, actually, yes, I would because of the right side. Square root of b plus 6 is less than or equal to negative square root of 6 minus the square root of 2. And then, yeah, I would divide everything by -1, which does do what? Flip the inequality, right? So it's going to turn into the square root of b plus 6 is greater than or equal to the square root of 6 plus the square root of 2.
Square root of 6 or b? It's b.
I think it's...
That is b.
Is it B? Let's see. Did I copy that wrong? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's been a B all along.
It just looks
It slowly turned.
ish.
No, I wrote 6 because I that's what I read.
I don't, they look too much like 6.
We've been over this.
That B is some,
B's you start down and around, and 6s you curvy. See, it's different, yes?
I do it different, but my dyslexic brain sees them as
I feel like every week this turns into more of a handwriting class.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. That's false. If it were handwriting class, I would be teaching you how to do handwriting correctly, which I could do, but I am not doing that. What I am doing is telling people to stop being annoying. So what should we do now?
Square both sides.
And annoying.
both are true.
Square both sides.
But at least in this case, I have it
Teacher bullies student.
called student, but not student.
So, okay. And this is not going to stop being a question. It's not going to stop being a question probably next year or in the future ever. And I cannot emphasize this enough. There's nobody watching right now live. It does have 2 views. I don't know who those were, but whatever. But cannot emphasize this enough to anybody in here or out there. This is not just this squared and this squared. That would only be if this is times. You have to do the whole thing. There is a shortcut to squaring a binomial, which I teach in pre-cal. If you want to look it up on your own, that's fine. But it has to be the square root of the first one. No, the square root of the first one. Has to be the first one times itself. So what do you have to do with all of that?
Foil.
You have to FOIL it, right? We got to do first, outside, inside, last, right? If you only square the first one and the last one, then you're missing an entire term. You're missing a middle term. What's the square root of b times the square root of b? Square root of b squared, which would be what? B, right? So this turns into b. And the square root of b times the square root of 2 is what?
2b, wait, b squared. 2b. Square root of 2b.
Plus the square root of 2b, yes, accurate.
Or not to be.
That is the question. And then this one's the same, right? So plus the square root of 2b. And then the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is what?
2.
2.
Square root of 2 squared. What does the square and square root do?
It's 2.
That's,
Cancel, it's 2. Great.
I mean, it is the square root of
And these are like terms, so 2 times the square root of that. Yeah? So coming back over to our original, you can go straight from here to here if you know the shortcut. But it's something you have to memorize, so it's something I don't teach right now. I emphasize this. If you want to learn the shortcut, you can. I don't
If we
care.
did a shortcut on the test, you wouldn't care.
I would not count off as long as you do it right. B plus 6 is greater than B plus 2 times the square root of 2B plus 2.
Don't forget that is equal to, greater than.
Oh, yep, thank you. And equal to. Okay, now what?
Combine, or
You have to
subtract
get
B
the
and
square
subtract 2.
root by itself.
Subtract B, and we do have to get the square root by itself. Absolutely. So subtracting this B and this 2, not well, that's not even a 2, but yes, absolutely. Minus B minus 2 minus B minus 2. What is B minus B?
0.
0. Great. That's helpful. And then 6 minus 2 is what?
4.
4.
Greater than or
Equal to 2 times the square root of 2b. Now what?
Subtract 2.
Divide by 2. I agree. So we end up with the square root of 2b is less than or equal to 2. What did I do? Because I did a couple things.
You just switch.
I switched it with the square root on the left side because the variable is over there. We like that, which is why this flips around, right? And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Easy money, yes?
Yes.
Okay, now what?
Square both.
Square both sides. Absolutely. So 2b is less than or equal to 2 squared, which is 4.
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. B is less than or equal to 2. We got to graph it, so what do we do with that? Make a line, and then what? Put a 0 somewhere, put a 2 somewhere, now what?
You make the problems.
You put a closed circle on the 2.
Put a closed circle on the 2.
Smack a line to the left.
Smack a line to the left. Sounds grand. Okay, so I've yelled this before, but it would behoove us to yell it again. Your graph should look like this. If you do something stupid, and by stupid I mean weird or different, it's not actually stupid. You were probably taught that way. It's fine. Like putting something up here or whatever else, don't do that. It's silly. And it could make you get counted off because if you forget to put the circle or whatever else. Now the only exception to that is if you want to write, if you were taught and know how to actually do this properly in interval notation where you do curved brackets and square brackets and you do it that way, that's fine. But other than that, don't do it some weird way, okay? Easy money? Do it the way I show you. Yes, ma'am?
Try the problems where we have the 2 points and figure out where to shape.
If there's 2 answers.
Okay.
Okay, so 56.
56.
Bless you, I think.
That was a hiccup.
Well, you can still get blessed, right?
Yeah, I guess. I accept the blessing. Tracy's in the study.
Lower the recommend. Looks fine to me. Okay, great. We'll see later whether it was acceptable and whether it was good enough. Because that'd be great. Because then it's done. Just make a thumbnail ahead of time and move on with our lives. Then Landon will never have to ask, is the video done again? It'll just be there immediately. He could even like sit in Bible study and have an earbud in and listen to it. Which you probably shouldn't do that. Your mom would probably smack you, but you know. So you just need to grow your hair out long like mine, and then you can get away with it. Of course, your mom would probably smack you for that too. Add to sounds great.
Good job.
Actually, she probably wouldn't hear about hair. My dad had hair down to his belt.
Oh, really?
His whole life until like.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Like 10 years ago. So.
Well, there you go. Now what?
And now you raise
That was very important. Whatever. Now y'all got me tongue-tied. Square both sides. Sounds great. Yes, 81. 3x plus 9 is less than 81. And then what?
3x equals 70.
There's no equals there. Good try, though.
Less, yeah, it's less.
Minus 9.
Minus 9. 3x is less than 72. Divide by 3.
That's 20.
X is less than, what's 72 divided by 3? 24. We've got to do our thing, put a line on there. Also, when you're doing this on a test, use a straight edge. In Algebra 2, I would absolutely count off if your line looks like this. That's stupid.
What if it looks
It's just a Lubbock line.
It's just a what?
Lubbock line.
A Lubbock line? I don't know why it's, I don't understand the joke. I don't get it.
People say Lubbock is flat. It's not.
Oh, well, it's about as flat as you can get and be flat. Where is flatter?
Level land.
Level land.
I mean,
I think when they say Lubbock is flat, I think they kind of mean like the 806 area, yeah?
Lubbock County.
We are on a mesa.
Yeah, we're on top.
Okay, what other questions do we have from this lesson?
I have a question about the like the restrictions on the the square root, because in that problem wouldn't 3x plus 9 be greater than?
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding us of an entire section of this that we forgot. What else do we need to do to finish this problem? Because this is not correct, actually. Okay, so there we have to restrict the domain on these, and there's probably some other ones that we might have made a mistake on, maybe, depending. So we have to double check to make sure some of this isn't included. What would cause issues? What do we not like with square roots?
Negative and negative.
We don't like negatives. So this 3x plus 9 has got to be greater than or equal to 0. So we need to double check to make sure whether this is within this or not. Divide by 3. So x has got to be greater than or equal to negative 3, which is within this. So we'd have a filled in circle over at negative 3, right? And it would only be in between. Good question and good catch. Absolutely.
We do 34.
There's supposedly somebody currently viewing this class. If you're viewing this class, say hello. Which number did you say, 34?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Is the camera for the live thing on this or on that?
On that. I could switch it to this, but it's that one.
I get to see his head.
Yes, the hair.
Yeah.
Only barely. Well, now when he turned around and waved, they might have seen him. Your mom could watch your class. You'd be like, "Hi, Mom." Okay, 34. Is that what you said? 34.
Whoa, it's
The
It's
question
from
for
India.
this is me.
At least
I'm
in
the
Oh,
one
hey.
person.
Hi. Welcome to class. We're learning about radicals. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section. They'd be happy to hear your questions. The square root of b minus 6.
I accidentally dropped my keys from the top of the Ferris wheel.
You did that?
Plus the square root of b equals 3. All right. What should we do?
Move the B over so it doesn't look.
Yeah, I agree, because this square root has got a lot of mess going on, so it'd be easier to get the square root off of it and then deal with whatever mess we make. So yeah, let's subtract the square root of b from both sides.
Would you put the 3 first or the b?
So I like to put, it doesn't matter, but I like to put the radicals at the end of an expression because then it's not confusing which one, what is inside the square root and what's not. Equals 3 minus the square root of b. Now what?
Square both sides.
Square both sides. Look, there's another person live. Is that actually Nathan?
No.
Oh. Hi, whoever you are.
I don't know what that wave is.
It's a wave with a marker. I don't know. Okay. What happens on the left side?
It times every.
It goes normal.
Well, it goes not on the other one.
Yeah, the right side we gotta do all the things. All right, that's good.
So there's only one.
So yeah, since the whole thing is a square root, it just straight up cancels. Yeah.
And
Okay.
then you fully.
And then you would FOIL. That's true.
I said a lot more things than foil there.
I'm not sure you actually said anything. A lot less things than FOIL. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative square. This one is going to be, well, no, don't like. In pre-cal, it could be just like, this is it. But I guess I'll be nice.
Pre-cal would be graphic
B.
calculators.
That's true. It wouldn't help you on this problem, but
In the
you.
book, it like said, like, use a graphing calculator to check your answer. And I was like, oh,
I don't have one of those.
I don't have one.
And if I didn't
Yeah.
know how to use it.
That's okay. And then you got like terms, which would be negative 6 times the square root of b, right? Great. So let's put it back over here where it belongs. So 9 minus 6 times the square root of b
Minus 6 times.
plus 6.
Or,
6?
Negative times a negative is positive. Yeah.
6 or b?
Isn't it b?
I don't know.
I was so
Because I wrote a b on this side and I don't know. I did it again. Sorry.
see, I told you these were.
And what's, it's because I'm talking and writing at the same time. And I wrote a B down here. And I wrote a B over here. So it's a B. B is accurate. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why that 1 was a 6. Y'all get it, maybe.
That b was a 9.
Now what?
You took away a 9 and
And
a b.
this.
I think I'm going to combine like terms over here. I think that sounds like a good idea. This one and this one. And then, yeah, let's add the 6 times the square root of b.
Oh, okay.
And then we could add the 6 on the left side as well.
Let's do that once we've combined like terms. Not confuse ourselves, right? So 6 times the square root of b plus b minus 6 equals 15, right?
Wait, that's not a b, not a 6.
Oh, it's a b. Okay.
We are struggling today.
You know what's funny is usually we're just right and y'all are like, oh my gosh, is that a 6 or a b? This time we as in me am for some reason having troubles. Okay, this is in fact a b, which means that's a b,
Oh,
which means
15, right?
which means we wouldn't combine like terms.
But we do have.
We would subtract b.
That's what I
It is what you said, and you were right for once.
said.
Wouch. Okay, minus b,
Wow.
New word.
and then add 6. 6. This cancels. This cancels. This cancels. That seem reasonable to everybody?
Yes.
Just write down the answer. And we
Take away 9 and then you add.
No, because I want to move the 6 over here.
Oh.
Because then the b's over there. I don't think that's another mistake. Now it is in fact 15, just from a different portal. Okay, now what?
Portal, wow.
Now.
Now we divide by 6.
Divide by 6.
Yeah.
This is also canceling, by the way, in case there's confusion of what's happening. Okay, stop. Let me slow down. See what we did. Okay. This, here, this, here, this, here. So far, so bueno, right?
Yes.
No? Okay, good. I thought I heard you say wait. Okay. All right. That's that. So I moved the square root one to the other side. So I added 6 times the square root of b over here. Okay? And then subtracted b from both sides, which makes this one and this one cancel. And then added 6 to get rid of this one over here, which is this one.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody in the right place, including me today? Good.
You were in the right place?
As of the math, yes.
Okay, now we divide by 6. That's true. Square root of b equals what? 15/6, which reduces.
6 1/4. Or 6.
Let's keep it as an improper because it's going to be easier to square it again in a minute. So it reduces to what?
2.
5
halves.
5 halves. Now what?
Now we square both sides.
Now we square both sides. B equals 25/4. Great. That problem was a lot more annoying than it needed to be.
Mainly because bees were flying around and 6s were also flying around.
Yeah.
What? We could have said let b equal x and then put it back. We could have done that. Then we, whatever.
It's like in problems like these, I'm like, just choose X. X just makes sense always.
Not always, because if we're talking about baseballs, then B makes complete sense.
Baseballs equals X. X balls.
Okay, what other questions do we have? 28. I'm not sure which part you're talking about to where it's not equal to plus or minus 2. That's a previous problem. You're on a delay. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name, sorry. So if you want to put what you're talking about, that may have some illustration for something. What number did we just say?
28.
28.
11. Is it x equals 11?
It's no real solution.
Oh, then it didn't. I did, and it didn't work out, and yet still.
So we still need to do it? Is that what we're... Square root of x minus 10 equals 1. Minus the square root of x.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we square both sides. Actually, we could add an X.
Yeah, I think I know what's going to happen. But anyway, what are we saying to do?
Square both sides.
Square both sides. I agree. Square both sides. Okay, what do we get on the left side? X minus 10. And then after you FOIL out the right side, what do you get?
1 plus 2 times the square root of x plus x.
Should be 1 minus
Or minus, yes, minus. Okay.
2 square root of x plus x, right? Is that what y'all got when you FOILed it out?
Yes.
Good. Now what?
Subtract X from the right side to the left side.
Okay, subtract x from both sides, which cancels.
Did you also do the 1 at the same time?
We could do the 1 at the same time. That's fine. What would we do to get rid of the 1? Subtract 1. So we get negative 11 equals negative 2 times the square root of x. Divide by 2. What I thought was going to, no, we divide by negative 2, right? What I thought was going to happen isn't going to happen, but that's fine. We end up with the square root of x equals 11 halves. Now what? Square both sides. X equals 221 fourths. No, 121 fourths. Now what?
No.
We check the thing. Right?
Yeah, we do.
And it doesn't work, so we don't need to do that.
You were staring at those numbers very aggressively.
I was. Well, we plug it back in. What's the square root of 121 fourths minus 10? What's 121 fourths minus 10?
It would be 40.
9 halves.
What?
20 and a fourth, which is not problematic. I thought we should probably end up with a negative if it's no solution. Let's see if there's a mistake on the board and or the problem, because we should end up with a negative in one of them if there's a problem. I figured this was going to come out negative because of that square root of x. Let's see.
Oh, square root of 20 and a fourth is 4 and a half.
Square root of what?
Of 20 and a fourth is 4 and 1 half.
Yeah, from there. Is 1 half. Is that what you said?
4 and 1 half, yes.
4 and a half. What's the square root of 121 fourths? 11 halves. 11 halves. What's 1 minus 11 halves?
Negative 4 and a half.
Ah, there we go. That's the problem.
There's a negative.
Okay, let's work this out correctly, or completely, I should say. So that's the left side equals 1 minus the square root of 121 fourths. Square root of 20 and a fourth, Malcolm just said was what? 4 and a half? 4 and 1 half equals 1 minus, what's the square root of 121 fourths? 11 halves, right? What's 1 minus 11 halves? Negative 4 and a half, which means there is no solution because it does not check, which can happen with a square root problem, with a square root equation, because we can end up getting extraneous solutions because of the way pluses and minuses work.
Pluses and minuses.
Yes.
Pluses and minuses.
Right?
Pluses are my favorite. I don't like
All
minuses.
that work for nothing.
No, we didn't. So, and we really did. So you say all that work for nothing, but I mean, like if we're talking about a real life situation where this would be applicable. Now we wouldn't have done the work by hand. A computer would have done it and spit out this range or whatever. But it's very useful. In fact, oftentimes it's more useful in a problem to figure out where something doesn't work or doesn't exist. Because that's when failure happens, or that's when things are outside the range of possibility, or all of those things. So no solutions are honestly pretty useful. Any other questions on this lesson? 52. 5 dos. We have our test on Thursday, by the way, in case you didn't know that for whatever reason. Did you think the test was today? Okay. Look at you knowing things.
No, I have to put it on my calendar when you announce
That's
I
a
just knew it was today. I didn't put it on the calendar. I don't know
I'm not
why.
looking forward to
Or
it,
not
but I put it on my
tomorrow.
calendar so I know.
Whatever Thursday is, I don't know.
You just got the key part early.
That's one of my worst nightmares. Like, show up and be a test and I didn't know.
Yeah, that's kind of horrifying to
I don't
think
know how
about.
you do that.
Sophia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sophia, she was like, what's your test?
It was like
Every time. Okay, so what should we do now?
Add.
Add what?
Oh, wait.
The 10 is positive.
Subtract.
Subtract the 10.
I always, for some reason, my brain messes up whenever it's 10 minus.
I know. My
2x,
brain says it's
whatever.
a negative, but I know it's not a negative.
It's an
It's not negative.
-7. Now what? No, not yet. Let's divide by -1.
Sign changes.
The inequality does change and the sign changes. That's true-ish. What you meant and what you didn't meant are both true. That doesn't poof
I was
away.
like, when does that come out?
Magic. Now what?
Square both sides.
We square both sides. Sounds like a great idea.
Oh, my sevens look so much like.
I don't know.
I know.
You can do a Roman 7 and make it more legible if your 7s are problematic.
There you go.
What's 7 squared?
49.
49.
Minus 7.
Minus 7.
Divided by
36.
2x is greater than or equal to 42. Divide by 2
X
is not equal to, but it is greater than or equal to 21. Put our Dumiflaci on there.
Don't you have to find the other part of the?
We should double check that, absolutely, to see whether that words, they're difficult sometimes.
And when you do that, don't you have to solve the problem for each one to see where to shoot?
Yeah, well, so no, you're thinking of like an absolute value one, I think.
That's just what you told us to do.
Not on these, I don't think.
Yes.
Right? You
Did I?
just solve for each little square.
Yes.
Okay, great. You could do that if you want to do that.
I'm not
2x plus 7 has got to be greater than or equal to 0. Subtract the 7. And then 2x has got to be greater than or equal to -7 halves. This is, oh, what am I doing? What do I say? I somehow jumped ahead. Great. X has got to be greater than or equal to -7 halves. So this restricts this. When is a number greater than or equal to 21 and greater than or equal to -7 halves?
Greater than the bigger number?
No, when is it greater than both?
Never.
Always. Well, always this, right? If it's greater than this, it's also greater than this, right? So it's just this. It just always works. There's no restrictions. Because this takes care of this. There is a restriction, it's just kind of invisible and useless, right? Because it's always true. Because of the answer. And if you were to go through and check all the little regions, that's when it would work.
So you wouldn't have
As long as you did this and it is, yeah, that's fine. You actually don't even have to do that on the absolute value. There's a way to do it without doing on absolute value ones, but there's too much mental gymnastics, and so I don't usually teach it that way. So on the absolute value, inequalities is when I have people check the different regions, but you can actually do it without checking that as well. But I find the checking to be easier for people to remember than remembering to flip stuff and when to flip stuff and all those things.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this lesson? We are about out of time. So Goodbye.
Later.
I was worried you would give us one problem and a quiz and you have
That's
five.
exactly what I was worried about.